زميلة زميلكم وحبيبي راغب فراش، حقيقة من أحد الطلاب المتميزين في الحسين بن علي، الآن بيدرس طب في جامعة الملك، جامعة أم القرى، سنة ثالثة طب، وحاب يشارك بفكرة من عنده، وقدمت أنا له دعوة ورحب بأنه يلبي الدعوة من حرصه لأنه ينشر الخير للناس. تفضل. شكرا.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my dear friends and brothers. Of course, first of all, I'd like to thank the teacher for this opportunity. It's really an honor to stand right here on this stage. I love presenting people. I love standing on stage, and whenever I get the chance to do what I love the best, it's just outstanding. My presentation talks about the future, the path to your future. But I'm not going to start with this right now. First of all, before I start with my presentation, I'd like to say that I'd like to ask you two questions. First of all, who am I and what am I? Who am I to you? I'm Raghib Farash. Do you guys know me? You don't even know me. I'm no one. But what am I is more important. Because I am here, I am an idea for you to understand. I'm merely a thought, a mirror for you to see yourself in me. Because if I can't stand on this stage, then so can you. If I can't present, then you can present. If I can't perform, then you can perform. And believe me, you're gonna need this in your future. This is right here. This is your image in your university. Tomorrow, when you stand and present, and when you talk well, and when you do it perfectly, people will know who you are. And believe me, being famous is better than not being famous, of course. So, let me tell you something. I know that a lot of people have stage phobia or fear of the audience. They fear to talk in front of people, and when they see people in front of them, they get worried, confused, and they don't know how to speak properly. They fear making a mistake. Now, I find fear of the audience really weird. I don't say that it's not true. It's true, it exists, it's there, but it's weird. Let me tell you why it's weird. From my point of view, maybe if you understand my point of view, you'd find it weird too, then you can perform better on stage. First of all, you gotta know that the people who are listening to you are there because they wanna listen to you. So why fear them? You're here for me because you wanna listen to me. If you wanna listen to me, then it's not gonna matter if I make a mistake or two, right? Because you're here for me. Secondly, everyone makes mistakes. If you keep this fact in your mind, then you're gonna do better. No one doesn't make a single mistake in his life. So you're gonna come here and you're gonna make a mistake, but if you're not afraid to make a mistake, you're gonna correct it, and you're gonna do that fast. 2 seconds, you're gonna correct your mistake. And even if it takes you more than 2 seconds, so what? If you shut up for a little while to think about your next line, what's gonna happen? Let me show you a small demonstration. You see, I've been silenced for over 10 seconds and none of you have something to say about it. You know why? Because you have to wait for me to say the next line. Because you gotta wait for me to say the next line. Because you're here to listen to me. Therefore, I have no reason to fear you. Therefore, I'm gonna perform better on stage. You see this idea? Everyone can do it, okay? You can do it. If I can do it, then you can do it. Okay, let's move to my subject. The path to your future. When teacher Bakur first told me about this, I chose this topic because it's the first thing that popped into my head. Some of you here are third year, you're graduating next year, so not next year, you're graduating in 2 months actually. So this is important to you. You need to know where you're going, where you're heading, right? Let me give you a metaphor. You know what a metaphor is? Okay, I'm gonna explain it anyway. A metaphor is an idea from real life that you can explain a real situation in it. Exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm gonna use a metaphor. Let's say you're traveling outside, right? The day before the day of the flight, you're packing your things, your bags, your stuff, your laptop, your charger, your iPhone charger, or whatever Samsung charger, whatever phone you have, your phone, everything needs to be set, your passport, of course. If you have traveled outside before, you know that the struggle is real. It is real. So your flight at 11 a.m. and you sleep at 3 a.m. and you wake up at 6 a.m. because you're worried. You're worried the flight's gonna go away. And then you go to the airport 2 or 3 hours prior to the time that you need to go to the airport, prior to the time that the flight is actually gonna depart. But you do it anyways. You check in your luggage, you do whatever, you do everything you need to do to make sure everything goes perfectly, right? And then you go in front of the gate, wait for the gate to open, get inside the plane, fasten your seatbelt, now you're relaxed. Now I want you to imagine that all of this is happening with you not knowing where you're going. Is it possible? Is it possible that you get on a plane not knowing where it's gonna go, where it's gonna land? It's impossible. So this is what I'm thinking about. And this is why I changed my subject from the way to your future to the destination of your future. Because it's more important. And no one, and I say no one thinks about this. No one thinks about the destination. Everyone thinks about the way and how to get inside the plane. Now for sure, if that plane is knowledge, for sure the place that you're gonna land in is better than the place you started from. Now we all know that. I'm learning, so of course I'm gonna go to a better place. Yes, right. But what is that place? Maybe it's cold. I hate cold weather. Maybe it's rainy all the time. Maybe it's hot most of the time, right? So maybe it's not convenient for me. So how am I gonna work in an environment that's not convenient for me? Am I making any sense to you? See, that's what you need to think about. Yes, I know that the way to college, the way to becoming a doctor, for example, takes 7 years. You go to whatever college, you study for 6, 7 years, then you become a doctor. But what after you become a doctor? Have you ever thought that when you become a doctor, you're gonna get a phone call in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. from a cousin or a brother or a family member who's gonna tell you to come to their house right now because they need you? And you're gonna wake up from beautiful, beautiful sleep to go check them out. Has any of you ever thought about this when he put the idea in mind that I want to become a doctor? No one does. All we think about is the white lab coat and the beautiful, beautiful scrub and the whatever, right? That's a mistake, guys. See, imagine at least, if you can't see, imagine where you're gonna land. Imagine what you're gonna work, what you're gonna do. It's important for you, for your own sake. Now let me tell you something. We have 3 questions. Those 3 questions are always in our minds, right? What are those 3 questions? Is the department I'm gonna go to gonna satisfy my parents? That's first. Is the department I'm gonna go to, does it make good money? Right? This is a question, an important question. The third question we asked ourselves, can I make it? I don't care what it is. Can I make it? If I can make it, then I'm gonna go to it. It doesn't matter. I have good grades. I can go to medical school. Why go to another school? Why take engineering or, for example, business? Why? I can go to medical school. I will go to medical school, yeah. These 3 questions are in fact important, but they're not your priority. You can't, yes, you have to keep in mind what your father thinks about the department you're gonna go to, but it's not a priority. You can't choose your future based upon what your father or mother needs. Yes? So make sure that this is important in your life. You can't choose a career only because it pays good. Because 1 year or 2 years inside the job, you're gonna get bored. And if you're gonna get bored, you're not gonna do the job well. And you end up killing someone. Not only as a doctor, even as an engineer, you might kill someone. So what? Right? Actually, it's mass murder. As an engineer, you're gonna kill hundreds. not only one person. So this is some things for you to think about. Because this is you building your future. Don't choose it based upon some facts that don't actually matter the most. Choose it upon whether it is good for you, whether you can practice your job without getting bored. This is very, very important. A guy who gets bored waking up in the morning and going to his job, that's a guy that's gonna make a mistake or end up hating his job one day. But if you love the place you go to work in, if you love your hospital, for example, if you're a doctor, you love working in a hospital, you love working in a lab. For example, you love the hospital environment, but you don't love facing the patients. Then you don't become a doctor. You become a lab technician. And lab technicians are a respected job. Have respected jobs, yes. It doesn't have to be medicine. It doesn't have to be surgery. If you're not a neurosurgeon, yeah, that's a problem. You're not a good guy. You're not a neurosurgeon, or for example, a heart surgeon. No, it doesn't work that way. I have a couple of my friends, and when I say couple, I'm not exaggerating. I mean exactly 2 of my friends that I know that said this to me. 2 of them were 99 point something, I can't remember. Too good, much better than me. One of them went to engineering and the other one went to business. So I sat with them separately and I asked them the same question. Why would a guy like you, who can make it to any college in the fucking world, I'm so sorry guys, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. Excuse me. So why would a guy like you, who can make it to any college, would choose to go to UQU, for example, and choose to go for engineering? Why would he do that? He said, simply, he answered me this. This is what I love. It doesn't have to be medicine. I love engineering. I'm going to go to engineering. Simply. The other guy, I asked him why. Why business? You can do anything. You're really good. You're a good student. And you're a smart student, not only good student. Why would you choose a department like that? And he said to me, my father is an old man who has a lot of companies. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. My father will pass in 10 or 20 years, and someone is going to take his job. Do you see this thinking? This is an awesome thinking. He thought about taking his father's job in the future. Now someone's going to run those companies. They're not going to run themselves. And his father is 70-something years old. So why not think this way? Now that's a smart way of thinking. When I got into medical college, I don't want to speak about my self-experience, my own experience, because it makes it look narcissist, because I'm just speaking about myself. But let me just tell you. When I wanted to go into medical school, my mom wanted me to travel outside, which is unlike any other mom in the world. Any other mom would like you to stay next to her. But my mom was different. We fought, literally, about me staying and me leaving. She wanted me to leave and I wanted to stay. That's weird. Every guy wants to travel and every mom wants you to stay. But this is the other way around. I wanted medical school. I wanted medical school. I don't want to travel outside. I don't want to study in America or England or whatever. I don't want something fancy. I just want to finish my 7 years and become a good doctor. That's it. As simply as possible. Plus the college only 10 minutes away from my house, so yeah, it's so awesome. It's so amazing to choose something that's so close to your house. I'm gonna finish up with a small story. It doesn't have anything to do with the future or whatever. It's just a small life lesson for you to get to understand. I hope it's meaningful for you. But first of all, no, wait, let me do the pause. You want it in British accent or American accent? No, my friends, this is called hiyaf. I'm not gonna do it in British accent. I don't know how to do it in British accent. Ignoring the letter T? No, that's wrong. That's actually American. No, British press their T's very hard. It's like they hate T's. So they press it very hard. It's like water. Why do you press the T so hard? It doesn't matter. Okay. This story speaks about a king in a kingdom. Okay? This king and his great kingdom only turned 54 this year. Right? It was the same age that his father died when he was fighting the rebels to clear the city. Right? So he made a big birthday party. It's a ceremony, really big, because he's happy that he turned the same age that his father was in and still at peace, right? So he told his right hand to invite everyone, and I mean everyone in the city, no exceptions. So one of the people that came was an old man that lives on the edges of the city who has nothing to offer, a poor old man that barely has his own money to make his day, right? Everyone is bringing big gifts. You can only imagine, that's the king. So bringing gold, they're bringing animals like camels or horses, beautiful horses. Everyone is bringing big gifts except this old man who has nothing to offer. So after everyone gives his gift, this old man picks up a piece of paper and he writes on it some words, right? He closes it and he gives it to the king, right? I was about to say what words he wrote, and I was about to ruin the whole story. Thank God I didn't. He gave the piece of paper to the king, and he said this: at your worst of times, pick up this piece of paper and read it. Okay? 2 months later, the rebels attack the city again. The king takes 12 men and he runs out. He's running out to the mountains. The city is on fire. A lot of fighting. While he was running out to the mountains, those 12 people, every single one of them died, except for the king. The king managed to make it to the mountains without getting any arrow or any sword hit in him, right? Now, while he was hiding somewhere up top the mountain, he remembered what the old man said, so he picked up the piece of paper and he read it. And it said, "This time shall pass." Only after a few moments he hears a voice calling his name. Now he's frightened. He thinks it's the rebels and they want him because they want to execute him. Only to realize that the voice is familiar to him. When he focused, he realized that it was the voice of his own right hand. They were looking for him because they already won the war. The king gets back to the castle. He's so happy. He makes another big ceremony, invites everyone. He tells his right hand to specifically invite that old man. The old man comes, same story all over again. Everyone's bringing big gifts but the old man who has nothing to offer. He gives him another piece of paper and he says this: after everyone in the castle leaves, you read that piece of paper. Now the king is happy. He's at the happiest of his moments because they just fought the rebels. They just won the war. The city is still his. He's still the king. And while he's smiling and laughing, he picks up the piece of paper and he opens it, and it said, "This time shall also pass." So the life lesson from this story is, when you're at the worst of your times, don't feel sad because it will pass. And when you are at the best of your times, don't get arrogant because it will also pass. This is all for me. Thank you.
يعطيك العافية يا راغب على المشاركة الجميلة. شكرا يا شباب. ما نبغى مشاركات بس عشان الوقت ضيق، نبغى ناخذ كم صورة كده مع المتخرجين برضو. ايوه تعال، كيف؟ كلكم تعالوا. كل المدرسة ولا شيء. لا بس امزح يا شيخ. صورة كده بس وخلاص. اصور ولا تصور؟
سيبك من هذا الشيء. الشيء ده مرة ما يجي، ها؟
مصعب لازم ترجع ورا شوية. تعال يقعد لنا في واحد جنبك زي. يلا شوف هذا. يلا بيت شباب. وجه موبايل. بعدين علقنا يوم. هذا الصاعدي.